Who is the coward of Austin Code compliance? Yes, you heard me right. There is a coward amongst the midst. Let's look at the definition of a coward. A coward is a person who lacks the courage to do or endure dangerous or unpleasant things. Also known as a weakling, milksop, mamby-pamby, mouse, chicken, scaredy cat, yellow belly, sissy, baby, and a candy ass. And so a while back ago, I was the victim of somebody turning me in to 311 for putting on a new metal roof on my home, which I did last year. You can see this. I did an open records request once I was written up. And on January the 12th, somebody called in. It was inputted by James Mullen. They requested Austin Code Department, new metal roof, working without a permit. And here's the audio tape of that recording.
Thank you for calling Austin 311. This is James. How may I help you?
I'd like to make a complaint for work without permit.
All right. I can understand that need, and I can help you with that, sir. Bear with me a second. Let me put in this request to Austin Code to come out and investigate. What's the address where this is occurring, please?
110 Cloudview Drive.
Okay. Is this an apartment building or commercial, or is it just a home?
Residential.
Okay. All right. Bear with me just a second. Okay. An entire new roof.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Between 2015 and 2016, there were shingles, and now it's a metal roof.
Okay. And so obviously this is visible from the street.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you aware of any immediate threats or dangers for the code officer?
No, no.
Okay. And have you called about this concern before?
No, no, sir.
Okay. Are you willing to give your contact information?
I'd rather remain anonymous.
Okay. Now, we'll go ahead and warn you, if you choose to follow up or you wish to follow up on this request, the only way that you will be able to find out any documentation on what the code officer determined on his visit, you will have to go through the public records request structure. That happens anytime you don't leave your contact information when you open the ticket.
That's fine.
Okay. Let me get over there and I'll put that you did not want to do that. All right, sir. I have turned this over to the Austin Code Department. The request number is 10457.
Mm-hmm.
It is for land use violation, working without a permit. And this will be assigned to a code officer within 3 to 5 business days.
Okay, very important. Normally it gets assigned within 3 to 5 business days. This was a male calling this in, and we'll listen to the last few seconds.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Anything else I can help with today?
That's it.
All right. Thanks for calling Austin 311. Have a good day.
Thank you, too.
Bye.
So, there's the recording. I wanted to know who made this recording, what number did this come in from, and this is what I received back. So I did yet another open records request to 311. The city of Austin tells you all the time, we want to be transparent and accountable to all of the citizens. And on March 8th, I received the response back that said the records indicate the call came to 311 from the phone number of 512-974-1971. Here's the problem. That phone number is from Austin Code business offices. When you dial that number, it's for a female investigator. She didn't make the call. A male employee, an employee of the code department, called after working hours using somebody else's extension, did not provide his name in order to retaliate against me. Here's the other problem. The City of Austin Code Department has a procedure for handling this. It's called stop and knock. Now, the person that came out to my house came out within 24 hours. This was done in the evening of January the 12th at 5:47 p.m. That's almost 6 o'clock. Code employees work from 8 to 4:30. And so nobody should have been in the office, although sometimes they work late or do other things. But the fact that he refused to give his name, he used a city phone number instead of using the stop and knock procedure, and he's not the investigator who works this area. The person who came to my house was actually a female. Let's take a look at her case log real quick. All right, here's the case log generated for my address. 110 Cloudview Drive, property owners Dale and Kathleen Flatt. The complaint date was January 12th, 2017. That is correct. New metal roof. Alicia Tovar is assigned January the 12th, the same day as the call was set in. You remember hearing the 311 guy said somebody would be assigned within 3 to 5 days. Not only was she assigned that day, she came out the very next day. She came out on the 13th. Normally, it takes 3 to 5 days for them to show up, but she was out of my house taking photos. Now, here's the problem. She's out of my house taking photos, but not once did she knock on the door, did she leave a door hanger, or any of the other required things that should have happened. She went by, took some photos. She sent me a notice of violation. What you're going to find in here is a lack of information. When I got my notice of violation in the mail, and here's a picture of my house on the 13th at 3:10 p.m. You can see that we're not home. She's taken several photos, and then this is the house from 2015. This is going to be a Google Street View shot. Okay? I use this tool all of the time. And so what happened was, and I'll bet it's Michael Reeves, the voice on the phone. Alicia Tovar actually received a letter from the city. So once all this came around, I went back to the City of Austin Development Services Department, the people who issue permits. And I talked with Karen, who is a senior planner there, and she reviewed everything, and she said, you don't need a permit. So she wrote a note to Alicia Tovar on February the 3rd of 2017 at 8:53 a.m., stating that the street view from 2009 pictures taken from the code department showing a metal roof doesn't violate land use. A permit isn't needed to replace it. The roof is the same pitch and no decking was replaced. A permit is needed when the roof pitch has changed and the decking or the plywood underneath is replaced. No signs that either one was done. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, contact me. This is a prime example of the right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing. This is the same thing they told me back in 2015 when I replaced my roof. They told my contractor, they told me that was fine. We got permits for all the other work. And so when I did the work, I was told I didn't need it. This is the same problem we have time after time. Austin Code wants to go after homeowners for things that happened 30 years ago based on new rules that the code department, the planning and development, doesn't even know about. Look, this letter is dated February the 3rd of 2017. Let's go back to the case log. All right, this case log should be an accurate description of all the steps taken. Notice she does not state that she talked to the landowners. Alicia Tovar verified with Development Services a supervisor by the name of Susan Barr that a permit is required per section 2512-243, section R, whatever, for the replacement of asphalt shingles, non-asphalt to 10. So she's going to send me a notice of violation. Again, she's talked to DSD, but one person in DSD says no, the other one says yes. So she prepared a notice of violation. Reeves requested a clarification a couple days later. So they're trying to get all their ducks in a row. They want to make sure they've got me. So she sent out work without permit confirmed and sent a notice of violation. Now, the letter you just saw was done on the 3rd of February. She failed to put that in this conversation. But she omitted that because that would have shown what I and other homeowners face is the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. She admitted that information. They held a meeting with the staff over there, and all the people sat down and talked, and they came to the conclusion that yes, I did need a permit at the time. The end of the story is that I got an apology from the permit office. They apologized for it. They opened up the permit that I had for the siding and the doors and just added the roof to it. I didn't have to pay any more money. A city inspector came out, looked at the roof, said, great job, and everything was closed. The problem here is with the Austin Code Department. Now, Alicia Tovar was on my radar, and I had done several open records requests, and just prior to her showing up on this date, she spent an hour and 15 minutes at the Catfish Parlor when she only gets a 30-minute lunch. That's one of the things she's under investigation for with the city's audit department. Alicia Tovar conspired with whoever the anonymous man was to set me up for something, not knowing that the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. The fact is, the anonymous man that made the phone call is a coward, did not want to stop and knock on my door and accuse me of a crime. He chose to call into 311. That is their favorite tactic to get the public to turn against each other. Didn't even have the common sense to use a different phone number. So I turned this over to the head of the department once everything was squared away and I was justified in my actions and vindicated. I wanted to address this, and they can't tell me who this person is. And it took me close to 50 days in order to get a response back. I asked several times, and I was assured there was an investigation going on and that I would be told the results of those investigations. Well, on April 28th, I finally got the best answer they can give me. Again, she acknowledges my correspondence relating to the 311 call on January the 12th. My specific concerns were about the identity and the motive of the anonymous 311 caller, the use of city resources after hours, and the perceived retaliation against me as a property owner. She does say, thank you for letting us know that the code violation in question was corrected. She doesn't acknowledge, because her staff won't tell her, that the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. So I want to make that very clear to you, Miss Wright, in this email, that your staff is once again lying to you, falsifying case logs, making it appear that citizens are guilty when in fact they're just being told the wrong thing from other departments, and you're hiding those facts by not acknowledging that February 3rd email in my case log. I want to see that corrected. So essentially, this is almost a 2-page letter. She tells me that the Austin Code Department received support from Austin Resource Recovery Department, Human Resources. Austin Resource Recovery is a fancy name for the trash department. That's where the Austin Code people came from. They were trash men and women at one point. And then evidently they're still getting their support through the Human Resources Department. So like any other job, if you have a problem, it goes to HR. They did a bunch of things, and they talked to several employees during interviews in which employees had the opportunity to listen to the recording, to identify the caller. They consulted with the police department investigative unit in an attempt to access other administrative forensic techniques that might conclusively identify the recorded voice. and they consulted with the Austin City Corporate Human Resources Employees Relation and the City Attorney's Office. And what they came up with was the conclusion is, while it's a fact that field staff initiate new code cases routinely, while in the course of their official duties, the expectation remains that they do so per established policies based on firsthand observations. To that end, I want to state very clearly that retaliation in any form is not and will not be condoned by me or the City of Austin. Unfortunately, in this case, we were not able to conclusively substantiate the caller's identity, which resulted in the inquiry just being closed. Now, you can't tell me you have two offices for the code people, one north, one south. This happened in the south office. It was a male caller. So you can almost eliminate anybody from the north office and all the females from the south office. That's a very small pool of people. And the code department could not or chose not to have the males read a sample script of what was recorded to 311 and put that back in a voice print and compare it to the 311 tape. I think they chose not to. I think they chose not to because they didn't want to acknowledge that there was a little bit of a conspiracy going on, that this is retaliation, because that opens them up for a lawsuit. And so they said the case is being closed. Please know, however, if we receive information that conclusively confirms the identity of the caller, I will promptly proceed with reopening this inquiry. That's why I made this video, ladies and gentlemen, because guess what? I'm offering a reward for that information. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. $100, 5 $20 bills to the first person who can identify that voice, leading to the administrative investigation and discipline of the Coward of Austin Code Department. $100 reward to the city employee who will step up and name their co-worker as the Coward of Code Compliance. Payable upon proof that that employee was disciplined, and the city will acknowledge the fact that retaliation does happen.